Dozens are killed, including 3 children, following an explosion at a petrol station in the Russian town of Makhachkala, located along the Caspian Sea. The walls look to be closing in on Donald Trump, as the former US president is indicted for the 4th time.
Niger's coup leaders announced plans to prosecute the ousted President Mohamed Bazoum for high treason.
More testing and monitoring. The World Health Organization is seeing a rise in a new COVID-19 variant, EG5, which is similar to Omicron. At least 27 people have died after a huge explosion at a petrol station Monday in the Russian city of Makhachkala. Among them 3 children, and 75 others are injured. The explosion followed a fire that broke out in the car service building at about 10 p.m. local time. The Ministry of Emergency Situations said the fire was extinguished only after 4 hours. According to local media, most of all the victims were onlookers. A 4th indictment, and undoubtedly the most damning for Donald Trump. The Georgia state is prosecuting the former US president and 18 others for attempting to overturn the election results in the key state. Fulton County District Attorney Fannie Willis initiated the investigation. Notably, she is invoking the extortion and conspiracy statute, which generally applies to cases of organized crime.
Every individual charged in the indictment is charged with 1 count of violating Georgia's Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act through participation in a criminal enterprise in Fulton County, Georgia, and elsewhere to accomplish the illegal goal of allowing Donald J. Trump to seize the presidential term of office beginning on January 20th, 21.
The following is a recording of Trump asking a senior advisor to, quote, find the 12,000 votes needed to win the state of Georgia.
All I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is 1 more than we have.
In typical fashion, Trump has denied the allegations made against him on his online platform, Truth Social, saying the witch hunt continues. The case this time is not federal but state, meaning if Trump was convicted in Atlanta, he would not have the privilege to pardon himself if he was re-elected as president.
Russian main bloggers acknowledge that Ukrainian forces are maintaining a presence on the east bank of the Dnieper River in Kherson region, in contrast to previous Ukrainian raids. But the Institute for the Study of War does not yet assess that these positions constitute a bridgehead. Kremlin-affiliated mail bloggers claim that Ukrainian forces have established positions west of Kozachyi Lageri after several days of limited raids across the Dnieper River, adding that Ukrainian sabotage and reconnaissance groups continue to operate west of Kozachyi Lageri, but that the settlement itself is still under Russian control. The mail bloggers also claim that Ukrainian reconnaissance groups continue to operate near Antonivsky Bridge and further south of Kherson in the area of Hola Pristan and conduct raids across the Dnieper River. Continuing Russian claims that Ukrainian forces maintain a presence on the east bank of the Dnieper River suggest that Russian forces are concerned that Ukrainian forces have established semi-lasting positions across the river. The UK Defence Ministry says some of the operations, both near Kozachyi Lageri and near Antonivsky Bridge and in the Hola Pristan area, likely took advantage of a local Russian force rotation. And now Russian commanders face a dilemma on whether to strengthen this area or to deploy troops in the areas of Ukraine's main counteroffensive operations further to the east.
Niger's military that toppled Mohamed Bazoum has said it will prosecute the deposed president for treason. The announcement was made by a coup spokesperson on national television just hours after the junta said they were open to dialogue with West African nations to resolve the regional crisis.
En tout état de cause, le gouvernement nigérien a réuni à ce jour les éléments nécessaires de preuve pour poursuivre devant les instances nationales et internationales compétentes le président déchu et ses complices locaux et étrangers pour haute trahison et atteinte à la sûreté intérieure et extérieure du Niger suite à ses échanges avec les nationaux, des chefs d'État étrangers et des responsables d'organisations internationales.
Niger's democratically elected president was ousted by members of his presidential guard in late July. He's since been under house arrest in the capital Niamey. If found guilty, Bazoum could face the death penalty according to Niger's penal code. West Africa's ECOWAS regional bloc has ordered the deployment of a standby force and imposed economic sanctions, which the junta has denounced as illegal, inhumane and humiliating.
A senior Swedish official has said on Monday that Swedes abroad and businesses linked to the country should, quote, observe increased vigilance and caution following a recent string of Quran burnings that sparked protests in the Muslim world. Sweden has also ramped up security at its borders.
Sverige har gått från att vara ett legitimt mål för terrorattacker som ett bland alla andra västerländska länder till att vara ett mer prioriterat mål för den här typen av terrorattacker. Även nu under sommaren har ju både Säkerhetspolisen och regeringen kommunicerat att vi befinner oss i ett allvarligare säkerhetsläge nu än vad vi gjorde för, säg, ett drygt halvår sedan.
On Sunday, the UK's foreign ministry warned its citizens travelling to Sweden of possible terrorist attacks. And it added that Stockholm has already disrupted planned events and has made arrests. Some 20 people, including 4 children, have been rescued from a crowded sailboat off the coast of Greece and taken to the port of Rhodes. 2 men, a 44-year-old and a 48-year-old, were arrested on suspicion of trafficking. Greek authorities are now investigating the possible involvement of the suspects in other cases, as well as their collaboration with members of organised networks engaged in similar criminal activities. Hundreds of migrants have been rescued from small boats in Greek waters over the past few days. A town buried in mud, Bardonecchia in Italy, was hit overnight by torrential floods and a landslide that caused consequent damage and forced some 120 people to flee their homes. Italy's Fire and Rescue Service released images of the mudslide that swept through the Alpine town. 6 people were rescued by the fire brigade after their camper van was swept away by water and mud. Italy has recently been affected by several extreme weather events, including devastating wildfires. Central and eastern Bohemia in the Czech Republic experienced severe thunderstorms with torrential rains and hail during the night. The regional fire department received dozens of reports overnight of fallen trees obstructing roads and flooded houses. As of 5 a.m. on Monday morning, firefighting teams had already carried out more than 30 operations to deal with the storm's aftermath.
Lava flowing down the slopes of Mount Etna on the Italian island of Sicily. The volcano erupted on Sunday evening, and although the lava flow had subsided before dawn, ash was still coming down from one of the craters on Monday. As a result, all flights to and from the airport and the nearby popular tourist destination Catania have been cancelled until the evening. The city has also banned the use of motorcycles and bicycles for the next 48 hours because many streets are covered in ash, and ordered cars to drive no faster than 30 kilometers per hour. Mount Etna is the highest active volcano in Europe. Russians are bracing for higher prices as the ruble falls against both the dollar and the euro. It's been steadily losing value since the start of the year, and on Monday morning dropped below the psychologically important level of 100 to the dollar. But it made gains later after the central bank said it would meet on Tuesday to discuss the level of its key interest rate.
Цены также вырастут, значит, и уровень жизни упадет. Он уже упал. Еще больше упадет. Все как бедных становится больше. Это однозначно.
The most fundamental factor is the structural change in Russian economy. So the demand is now driven by state expenses via wider military industry complex. Here, I mean, not only enterprises which are working on the war, but also the very extensive part of the civil sector.
The central bank blames the currency slide on a drop in export volumes and growing internal demand for imports. A Kremlin official on Monday admitted that a weak ruble negatively impacted people's real incomes, but said the currency is expected to bounce back shortly.
The World Health Organization is warning countries around the world not to dismantle their surveillance measures of COVID-19. The health body says a new variant, EG5, a mutation of Omicron, is circulating and has similar effects. The variant has been reported in 51 countries, including China, Korea, Japan and Canada.
And the gains that they made across all of these aspects, surveillance, clinical care, infection prevention control, everything that they did for COVID-19 is an investment for the future. So dismantling those systems is really short-sighted.
The WHO has been monitoring EG5 since July and has seen an increased growth rate. An extreme summer heat means more people are likely to be in their homes in the northern hemisphere and take refuge somewhere cool.
In winter months, people spend more time indoors, but in the summer, people are spending more time indoors because of air conditioning. This virus will take advantage.
With the virus not showing to be as seasonal as in the past, the WHO is urging everyone to be up to date with their booster jabs, which they say will be modified to tackle new mutations.